What's happening, guys? It's another day down here on the channel, and we are going to be continuing to work on the Miata to try to get it to actually run. Like I said in the end of the last video, we are having some problems with it. So it has zero compression through 3 of the cylinders, and cylinder number 4 only has 30 psi. So I either blew out all the cylinders or I snapped the timing belt. So we're going to do the simple thing, and we're going to check to see if the timing belt is hooked up still. And if that is, I have another timing belt. It's the old timing belt. We're gonna throw that on, and we're gonna try to get that to work. I'm going to do a couple of things. I got my slave cylinder, but I don't have a line for it. So, like I said before, we're gonna go up to Treasure Coast. We're gonna get some more stuff, and we're gonna come back and do that. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this and check to see if this timing belt is snapped, or if I royally effed and destroyed the motor already without even getting it to drive. So guys, it's a pretty simple check to see if the timing belt is snapped. Realistically, we just have to take off the valve cover. So we're gonna go ahead and pop all the wires off, and we're gonna pop the valve cover off, and we're gonna check that. All the other stuff in the back here is seeming to hold up pretty good. Coming back a couple days later, these fuel lines are a little soft, but they should work for right now. If they start to leak before we actually do anything with the car, I will replace them, so that's a good thing there. We capped off all of our vacuum ports the other day, so this one's capped off, this one's capped off. There's one down there that's capped off. There's one in the back here that's capped off right there. And yeah, guys, let's just go ahead and see if we have any other vacuum leaks. I guess I could pressurize the intake plenum to see if there is. And then I'm gonna take off the valve cover right now though for you guys and see if this timing belt is actually snapped. So guys, we're lucky. We're lucky. So we're gonna go ahead and change all this stuff right now. The timing belt is completely destroyed right here. Completely destroyed right here. Somebody's yelling over there, I don't know why. But this is completely destroyed, and yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fix this. While we're taking all this stuff apart here, we're gonna figure out why this actually happened. And luckily though, guys, there's no coolant in this thing, so that makes it really simple to take all this apart, because yeah, don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead, pop some of these hoses off, start taking these covers off, loosen up the belts, take the belts off, and I figured out a way to take the crank off and do all this stuff on the bottom without actually having to take the crank bolt out. And that is, there's 4 10 mils on the bottom, and I, being a Miata mechanic, did not know that, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take all this stuff apart now. We'll do a time lapse. Yeah, sure. We'll do a time lapse taking all this stuff apart. So guys, we got a guest today.
Hello, Marcus.
What do you know about the Miata stuff?
I don't know anything about Miatas. I know Marcus found a real big boo-boo here.
Yeah, right? So guys, we figured out what happened. It looks like the spring tensioner let go and fell all the way to the bottom, and then just destroyed the timing belt on the bottom here. So I'm gonna pull this out. That's nice. All mangled there. And then this should just come off now. And this thing is completely in shambles. Like, that's, you could just pull that apart probably. Yeah, there we go. So we got another one inside. We have to go find another spring tensioner though, and we have to get that all set up. But yeah, guys, we got to figure out what happened here, why that let go or anything like that. But we're gonna go ahead and try to figure out and then get this thing back together so that we can start cranking it again. Obviously we got to put it to top dead center, E to E, I to I, and then the bottom needs to go to where the Woodruff key is probably, and get that all set up. But let's go ahead and keep going with that. Okay guys, so for reasons that we're gonna just say, I don't know, we're just gonna say that I'm doing this. But now the timing belt is back onto this thing. I had another one. Everything's timed again, but we are missing a crucial part. yeah, there's no spring now. So what I did was I put some tension on it with a pry bar here. It's very tight. And I put some red Loctite on the bolt right there. So the only thing that's going to happen is that the tensioner will get worn out and it'll eventually move a little bit away, and the belt will get a little bit more stretched, and that'll possibly cause some issues there. But yeah, I don't really think anything's going to happen here, guys. Even when the tensioner didn't have any tension on it, the belt was still pretty tight. So we're just going to have this on there for right now. Obviously, later on, I'm going to go through and I'm going to make sure that everything is good. This is just so that I can get the car running and driving so that I can have it actually move for you guys. And I don't want to just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and try to find this part and try to find that part. I'm going to go to Treasure Coast. Maybe I'll just get the spring while I'm there and they'll have it, and I'll pop this lower cover off again and I'll just put it on and I'll just leave the coolant out of it until then. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead, put the covers back on and see if it'll crank again and if it'll start up. So guys, it's all back together here. Valve cover's on, timing covers are on. I actually put that top one on. I didn't think I was going to, but it's on. Everything's tightened up. I have to tighten up the crank just a little bit more with those 10 mils. And then we're going to do a compression test to see if it fixed everything and to make sure that everything still works. I have the injectors unplugged. I have all the spark plugs out in the back there. And take a look at who's here. How's it going? Haven't seen Alex in a little bit, but Alex is in the channel, just hanging out. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead, tighten up the crank, and then do a compression check real quick. We got the key for the Miata. Saw somebody put this in a comment. Yeah, this is a little thing from Rugrats right there. But we got the compression tester right here. We are ready to do this, so let's go ahead and see what this thing has for some numbers. I don't think I ever actually did a compression check on this thing, but we're gonna do one right now and see what it actually has. So, ready? Okay. 170. Ooh, 170, man, on cylinder 1. Wow. Okay, let's do the rest of them, and we will see in a minute.
3 is like 150, 150.
What was that?
Cylinders 1 and 4 are 170, and then 2 and 3 are like 145, 150 range.
So that's a pretty big drop in cylinder compression, but for me it's okay since we're going to kind of stay NA and I'm not really trying to do anything super crazy with it. Yeah, we are going to be clutch kicking the S out of this thing, but it's okay. I think the car will hold up. If it doesn't, then yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get another motor, something like that. But let's go ahead, put the spark plugs back in it, make sure it actually starts up again, and then we're going to go ahead and put the clutch sleeve on it, and we'll change the knuckles out today because I've been saying that for a while, and we're actually going to finally do that thing today. So guys, we are under the car now. Yes, I'm using the jack, but there is a jack stand back there. I know. Yeah. So we're putting in the slave cylinder right now. It's up there. Okay, got to just tighten that down. I'm going to actually do that from the top because that seems a little bit easier. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to change out the knuckles on the front to a set that I have. So let's go ahead and do those two things. So we're so close to getting this thing to run as is, but we need a couple more things. Like I was saying in the other videos, I need the coolant lines that go to the bottom down here to the thermostat housing. Those go down to the block and then up to the manifold and to the like head. I need a clutch line to go from the clutch reservoir down to the slave cylinder. As you saw, we just installed the slave cylinder. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to install the knuckles, and that's kind of all we could do right now, guys, before we need to get the ECU, like a different ECU, or we need to get the box so that we can get it to run and that kind of stuff, guys. So let's go ahead and put on the knuckles now. Okay, so we are doing the knuckles now. This is a knuckle assembly that I took off of the parts Miata right here. Has a bearing and everything still attached to it. The bearings are still good. So we're just going to go ahead and put these knuckles assemblies onto here and then just keep these ones for later. The reason why I'm changing these is because this knuckle here is just way too modified. I don't know if I need extended lower ball joints or something right here, but you could tell the difference right here. So this is the modified one. There's like no room right here, and then this is the factory one right here. So they actually look different too. This might not even be the one for a 1.6. It could be one for like a 1.8 or an NB or something like that. So they just don't line up. This one has this extra little piece up here. I don't know if that means anything or whatnot, but yeah, they're completely different and I need less steering angle. So I'm going to put the stock ones back on and just run those for a little bit. And then I'm going to take my other set, which are right there, and there's one on the other side, and get those to be modified for the proper setup for this thing. So we're going to go ahead and do that later on though. So the knuckles are all swapped over and ready to go. The inner tie rods need to be turned out now so that we can do an alignment on it so that it'll actually track a little straight. The inner tie rod nuts did not fit, so I don't have those, but we will be going through this front suspension, putting on coilovers, putting on the other set of mounted knuckles that I'm going to have made, and doing some other stuff in the front, maybe an inner and outer sway bar link, some stuff like that. But all of this stuff is all done, so let's go ahead and wrap it up though, guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, comment, share, do all the good stuff, guys. And I know we did some janky stuff in this thing, but we will make it work later on. And that's about it though, guys. If you're not notified, get notified, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.